we're gonna talk a little bit about what Mike Jacobs said when it comes to Gary stepping out for milk and cigarettes and not coming back.
Daddy.
One of the one of the quotes that really stood out to me was he said process is how we win and what things we have to do to work hard not to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially he was saying that the trends that we were seeing, that we've seen over the last like 30 plus games, they weren't reversing. It wasn't changing.
Yeah.
So big, huge takeaways from that interview, that or that press conference, that I think answered a lot of the questions. I had a lot of questions when they let it go as why now? What really happened with that conversation with Gary? Austin, what do you think happened? Like, do you think that we've been calling a departure? That's what the team said, but based off of what Mike Jacobs said in that interview, do you feel like and that quote I just had, do you feel like that was a departure or more of like they gave that man the what is it, a pink slip?
He got his pink slip. Yeah, that was definitely a firing, and I think that it was interesting, like the timing and everything. I know that's something that a lot of people were talking about. Like it was after a win. We've got a match coming up, on Saturday, and all of the timing and everything. I was actually okay with it, and it gave me a little bit more peace of mind, if you will, after that interview. Because if you look at where we are in the season, about a third of the way through, already looking to hire another manager before the season is over. We're not just rolling with the interim throughout the rest of the season. I think timing was right, and hopefully we get the right person in place.
Well, timing is what it is. That's a big thing, right? The timing being right. And one of the reasons that he gave us for, right after the I can't remember who he played, but because the news of Gary Smith being fired just kind of overshadowed everything. I feel like I'm living in a new world, a new reality altogether. Yeah. But 2 days before the Atlanta United game, they decided to let go of this longtime coach.
Right, from Toronto. Yep.
Yeah, Toronto. That's who it was. All right. He said that he believes that the personnel that we have in place, they can still make something of this season. They still, there's like 20 plus games left in this season. Mike Jacobs says that's the reason why he fired them, because he wanted to give them that opportunity to salvage this season. Logan, do you feel like that's the case? Do you feel like this team that we have in place, Mike Jacobs picked team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
with a new coach, okay, let me ask you. So, how far do you think they can go?
I mean, here's the thing. He wants another chance at a playoff, right? Playoffs are basically 50-50 in the MLS. You have 9 teams from each side that can make the playoffs. So 18 teams total. You have almost a 66% chance of being able to make the playoffs as a team in general. I don't think Gary was trending up when it came to some of that. So I think what he was doing, he was saying is like, look, I have trust in our boys. I know that they can do it. I just don't think he's the guy to get us there. I think, to
playoffs.
Yeah. I know he's gotten us there several times before.
I don't think that's the case.
But I think he's
trending towards going to playoffs. I don't think that
so
Gary.
Far.
We were, but we were going up. Like we weren't too far off.
His last 3 matches, he had six points in the last 3 matches that Gary had, and then we got another point after. So 7 points in the last 4 games. We were trending up because I think we're sitting at 10th on the table right now.
I think what it was, and we're still outside the playoffs right now. I think what it was is that he truly saw a way to salvage the season, to make a deeper playoff run than we have, because of who he's got there in place as players. I think that we can see us go further, and I think he knows that, and was just getting frustrated by getting out in the first round year after year.
Yeah, I mean, you don't fire Gary Smith in the first quarter of your season when you are, in my opinion, you are trending towards playoffs, but you're trending towards a first round playoff exit. You don't fire Gary Smith just because your goal is to make playoffs. You fire Gary Smith because your goal is, as you said, make that
to
deep
win.
run.
Yeah.
To go all the way. You know what I mean?
Because if you look at it, I mean, he made a strong statement. He said, like, with the personnel that we have, he wants the expectation of this club advance in the playoffs and pursue a cup. Like, that was his exact quote.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is sort of, I don't know, man. Well, I'll put it this way, because I don't know personally. I've said it before. You asked me in regular conversation. I've said the same thing. I don't think that this team has the ability to make that deep run. You know, there's people who think differently. I do believe in these. I do believe in these guys that they will play their heart out. I just don't know. Now, when you let go of Gary Smith and you have these 20 plus games to look at, look at the team, see how far they make it. I think what you do for yourself, what you do for this team, is you take the Gary Smith blinders off, right? And now, if the trends remain, then it's clear you might have a personnel issue. Yeah, now he has to figure out how to overhaul this squad, and if he can't do it, then it's time for him to hit the same dusty trail that he sent Gary on.
I was about to say the Gary Smith blinders are off, and now all eyes and all attention are on Mike Jacobs.
Yeah,
correct.
So, I mean, that's really where we're at, man. I think at this point now, it's on Mike Jacobs to choose the right person to achieve what Gary Smith could not achieve with Mike Jacobs' other picks in terms of personnel. Right? We all know.
Well, it wasn't just Gary that went. Also, he made sure that Guppy wasn't there either.
Yeah, well, Guppy is. I mean, is he part of Gary Smith's staff? Are those two like
I think they've been together for like 12
or?
years. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean,
but
I feel like Guppy.
Let's look at the positives though, because, my other affiliates, and I apologize, Nashville fans. I was a Penguins fan before Nashville had a team. So when it comes to hockey, my affiliate is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Twice they have won a Stanley Cup changing coaches mid-season.
Correct.
So if you get the right person with the right group of guys, then you actually can make a cup run. The only thing, I think, when they get the right people and when they get all healthy and they get the right shape, the only thing standing in their way is a man named Lionel Messi. On their way to a cup, and that's the thing that I'm not sure they're going to get. Yeah, I'm not sure any coach is going to be the right coach to really push Nashville past that because of how they're playing. But hey, they've got some chinks in.
Because I don't, I community's ambition, because I don't, I demand greatness from Nashville, bro. Always. I feel like the way you came in is the way that you got to keep it, the energy that you got to keep it. And they came in talking, hey, we expect to challenge for the cup. We expect to have that, to fill up that trophy room. I don't want a team that's okay with mediocrity. And I don't think that Gary is okay with mediocrity either. But sometimes you just got to know when it's time to let something go, man. And his vision didn't match.
Tunji, you are 100% correct. I said it last time that it wasn't me disliking Gary Smith or anything, but I think that we had just seen everything we were going to see with Gary Smith.
How did Gary always put it? He had all his cards on the table, like, we saw everything we were going to get out of him.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how he put it, but essentially we've come to a crossroads. We as a team have a choice to make, and I think that choice is going to determine where we go in the next 5-7 years, given Nashville's track record.